Hello friends, my name is Miss Brooklyn and I am here today to bring you an ELA lesson, and I am so excited to do just that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys so you can see what's going on and follow along. Okay, so today's lesson is all about understanding informational text, and more specifically than that, we are going to be talking about kind of like how there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and how that can help us understand what is happening in a text a little bit better. So let's go ahead and jump into the standard and objective. I always like to share this with you guys so that you know what we should be learning before we learn it, and then hopefully by the end you feel like we have achieved this. And of course we will revisit this, but today the objective is by the end of the lesson you will be able to understand the importance of a sequence of events. And again, that will help us better understand informational text. So understanding that sequence of events and understanding what it is and why it's important will help us to become better writers and readers. And then our standard today is to describe the connection between a series of historical events, scientific ideas or concepts, or steps in a technical procedures in a text. All right, so for today, the materials that you will need. You guys can use a paper and writing utensils. If you have markers, crayons, anything you have is fine. Colored pencils, I am good with that, whatever you prefer. Or if you have an electronic tablet that you can take notes with, go ahead and grab that. Today I'm going to be using actually a personal whiteboard, but I am doing this because so you guys can see it better, so you have a big view of it. But I would love it if you guys could take notes with something that you are able to hold on to and refer back to if you need it. So go ahead and pause this video and grab whatever materials you may need to complete this lesson. All right. So hopefully by now you guys have gotten materials and you feel ready to go. I'm really excited to jump in this lesson, and just know that we can learn so much, but we learn even more when we have a good attitude. So be sure to put a smile on your face and take a deep breath before we jump in. Okay, awesome. Let's do it. So we are going to talk what is a sequence of events. Now, before I get too deep into that, I want you guys to know that even though today we are talking specifically about informational text, and what informational text is it's just fact. It's just there to inform us of something. It's telling us about a process or maybe facts about something. I know today we have an awesome reading. It could be another reading I recently did was facts about elephants. That was informational because I was learning facts. It is not someone's opinion, and it is not untrue. It is just fact. So with that being said, sequence of events, yes, we are talking about informational, but it occurs in all types of writing. A sequence of events is beginning, middle, and an end. So I just wanted to point that out, that in all types of writing, keep in mind, all types of writing, sequence of events exists. So whether you're reading something or you're writing something, just know that having that beginning, middle, and end is helpful in any type. But let's go ahead and jump back onto the slideshow. So the sequence of events is the order in which things happen. So again, beginning, middle, and end. And the reason why we have this is because a sequence of events helps to organize the passage. It makes it easier for the reader to understand. So we have a little picture there at the end, or I'm sorry, there on the right-hand corner on the bottom, and it says events happen in order. Words like first, then, next, or last may be used to tell the events in order. So as you can see in this picture, there is a girl in the beginning. She's sweeping. In the middle, looks like she turns into a princess. And at the end, she is dancing with a prince, it looks like. So that is the story. That is how it started, the beginning, and then there was a middle where something happened, a change happened, and then the end is what happens in the end. You guys might be thinking, why is having a beginning, middle, and an end important? Well, let me tell you why. If you are reading a story, and let's say it's a story about let's say you took a trip to another state, and you started by saying, let's say you took a trip to Florida, okay? Let's say you started by saying, I was on the beach in Florida and it was so much fun. And then I dug a sandcastle, and then I did this. And then, I was on the plane, and I was, bringing my luggage at the luggage claim, and I took a taxi. And if you're talking like that, the person who's listening to you, your audience, whether you're reading that or even just saying it out loud, your audience can be confused. They're thinking, wait, what? You were at the beach, but then you were on a plane. It's so confusing. So providing a beginning, middle, and end helps the structure to be more not only interesting, but also just helps your audience understand. So if you were to tell the same story, but instead use your beginning, middle, and end, your sequence of events in order of how they happen. So you could say, I woke up and I took a taxi to the airport with my parents, and we got on a plane. On the plane, I had peanuts and watched a movie. And then when we landed, I went to baggage claim and picked up my bag. My mom's bag got lost, but we ended up finding it. We took a taxi to our hotel, and after we unpacked, we went to the beach. I dug a hole in the sand, built sand castles, and had such a great day. So I didn't finish the story. There's no end there yet, but as you guys can see, it makes so much more sense when we are going in order of what happened. The second time I told that story, it was not confusing. You guys knew exactly what was happening. And part of the reason why you guys knew is because I was using words such as next, then, after. Those kinds of words can really help us in telling a story and kind of painting the picture of the sequence of events, because you know that after I went on the plane, I went to the hotel, right? Because I am using those words to help tell you that. If you tell a story all out of order, writing a story, then your readers or your audience, they're going to be so confused. So that is why it is important to have that sequence of events in place so your audience understands what's going on, and they just have a deeper understanding. All right, so we're going to jump back into the PowerPoint, but hopefully that makes sense to you guys as to why it is important to have a sequence of events. You definitely don't want to confuse people when you are writing or even just telling a story. Okay, so this is a reading that I have for us today. This is an informational text, which means this is a text that we are just going to learn from. It is more of an academic text, so there really aren't any characters or anything. It is about the process that the oranges go through from the tree to your house, to your refrigerator. So let's go ahead and read this together. Ready? People who work as fruit pickers move through groves filled with the orange trees. When an orange is ripe, the picker clips it off the tree. All picked oranges are then carefully moved to a packing plant. In the plant, oranges are placed on a machine with moving rollers. Special brushes wash the fruit as it rolls along. Next, each orange is dried. Other machine lines up Another machine lines up the oranges in boxes. A computer checks each box. Any oranges with spots or damage are removed. Orange growers want to produce good fruit that people will buy. Finally, each orange is given a sticker and placed in a box. Full boxes are shipped in cool trucks to stores. People who work in the store place the oranges on shelves. Then someone from your family comes to the store. Your family member chooses a few oranges, buys them, brings them home, and puts them in your refrigerator. Then, one day, you open your refrigerator, and there those oranges are, ready for you to eat. All right, so this was a text all about how oranges, the fruit, get from a tree out in the wild to your refrigerator. Some people I know, now this is just a little story about me, I actually have orange trees in my backyard. So I can go out and pick oranges when they are in season and just eat them right then and there. And they are so good and so fresh. So maybe that is the case for you guys. Maybe you guys grow some fruit. Maybe your neighbors grow some fruit and you get fruit that way. That is awesome. But for people who don't have that available to them, like there are lots of other fruits that I can't get from my backyard. So I do go to the grocery store for those other fruits, and I'm sure many of you guys go to the grocery store for oranges. So this is all about that process. So even in this, you will notice that there is a clear beginning, middle, and end to this process. And you can see, if you're looking at the text, you can even see a couple of these words that help us to signify kind of transitioning to the next sequence. So I see the word next, I see the word finally, I see the word then, I see the word then a couple of times, and those are just words that help us to understand where the story is going and what is happening. It keeps it moving along. So with that being said, we are going to actually create our own chart. All right, so if you should hopefully have some materials next to you to do this. Again, I have my whiteboard so that you guys can see a little bit bigger of a screen, but I am going to create this chart and then you guys can copy it down. This is called a beginning, middle, and end chart. And I believe that this chart is so helpful if you guys have if you have like maybe a story or a text that you're having a hard time understanding, you are thinking, I don't understand how they got from maybe this point to another point, or I don't understand what the next step in the process was. Creating a beginning, middle, and end chart just helps you write it out and keep it organized. So I'm going to start by writing this out, and then I will show you guys so that you can copy it down for yourself. Okay, so again, I'm just going to use abbreviation BME. And hopefully you guys know what that means, beginning, middle, and end. So here is our chart if you guys want to copy that down. B, which is beginning, middle, which is middle, E, end. So what we are going to do is we are going to look at our text and we are actually going to copy down, okay, what happens in the beginning? What are the beginning stages here? And then we're going to move on to the middle. And I'm actually going to let you guys complete the final column by yourself, the ending column. So you can have a little bit of independent practice there. So hopefully you guys have that down, and let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so looking at your very first column, we are going to start at the beginning because that is a great place to start and where we should always be starting. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys again so you can read the passage with me and kind of figure this out. I am going to do the very first one. So I am going to write in the beginning. We will do the middle one kind of together. And then the ending one, I would love for you guys to do, and I will go over those answers. All right, so beginning. I'm going to reread this first paragraph. People who work as fruit pickers move through groves filled with orange trees. When an orange is ripe, the picker clips it off the tree. All picked oranges are then carefully moved to a packaging plant. So I'm going to say ripe oranges get clipped off by picker. Great. And then I'm going to say packing plant. Okay, so this is an exercise in picking out relevant information. And if you guys don't know what that means, relevant information is basically finding what is the most important information and writing that down. When we are making charts like this and even creating summaries, we are not going to rewrite everything word for word. And the reason why is because if people want to see the text word for word, then they'll just read the text. They don't need to see the summary or the chart. We're just picking the most important information. So with that being said, in my opinion, for the beginning, the most important information is that ripe oranges get clipped off by pickers, right? The pickers clip and it gets clipped off. And then the other piece of information that I think is important is that they get shipped to a packing plant. And in my opinion, after that, we move to the middle column. And the reason why is because those oranges are leaving their original destination. Those oranges are no longer where they were in the beginning. So they are moving to a whole new destination, which to me means that we are moving on to the next sequence of events, which is the middle. You guys have to use your best judgment when you are deciding what to put in beginning, middle, and end. But as you do it more and more and you practice, it will become more and more clear to you. All right, so now for the middle. Let's keep on reading. In the plant, oranges are placed on machine with moving rollers. On a machine with moving rollers. Special brushes wash the fruit as it rolls along. Next, each orange is dried. So I'm going to write oranges are washed and dried. All right, and if you guys haven't started writing along with me, go ahead and do that. We are going to have a lot of content for this middle section because honestly, most of the time, the bulk of what is happening in a story happens in the middle. It is the information, the details. So let's read this next paragraph. Another machine lines up the oranges in boxes. A computer checks each box. Any oranges with spots or damage are removed. Orange growers want to produce good fruit that people will buy. Do you guys think that there's any information in that paragraph that we could put in our middle column? Give me a thumbs up if you do. What about if we wrote in our middle column, oranges with damage are removed? Is that good? Okay, hopefully it's good with you guys. But if it's not, you guys can write something else in your middle column, something that you guys think is important. Oranges with damage are removed. They are bye-bye. Perfect. Okay. Finally, each orange is given a sticker and placed in a box. Full boxes are shipped in cool trucks to stores. Do you guys think that there's any information in there that we could put in our middle column? Give me a thumbs up if yes. Great. Hopefully you guys said yes. What if for our middle column we said placed in a box, shipped to grocery store. So placed in a box, shipped to grocery store. That is what I put. Do you guys agree that that is good information to put in that middle column? Great. Hopefully you guys said yes. Now that the oranges have moved to the grocery store, that is their next destination, I am going to let you guys actually fill out this last column, fill out the ending column. I'm going to actually go back to our reading here so you guys can reference that. Fill out that ending column and be sure to put all the remaining important information in there, all right? So go ahead and pause this video and you can press play when you're finished. Okay, you guys, hopefully you have done some work and you have filled out this last column. For the last column, we already went through our beginning, and let me review what we had there. We said ripe oranges get clipped off by picker and they go to the packing plant. In our middle, we said oranges are washed and dried, oranges with damage are removed and placed in a box, shipped to grocery store. Now for the ending, I do wish I could hear your guys's answers, but I will just work through and just know that if you guys had more information in there or different information, that is okay. Maybe try working with a partner or with an adult to just make sure that you have all the main ideas in there. Okay, so I am going to write placed on shelf, and then I'm going to write family member buys, and then in the refrigerator. Okay, awesome. So here is what my chart looks like, all finished. All 3 columns are filled out. Hopefully your chart looks something similar to this. If it's not exact, of course, that is okay. These are the points that were most important to me. These were the points that I felt like helped me get a better understanding of the process from beginning to end of how oranges get to our homes. So hopefully it looks something like that, but either way, great job, and hopefully you tried your best, and I'm sure it is awesome. All right, we are wrapping up here. I just want to go over our objective one more time, and that is by the end of this lesson, you will be able to understand the importance of a sequence of events. And not only understand the importance, but also be able to kind of put the sequence of events together and highlight that important information. Do you guys feel like we achieved this today? Hopefully you do. I definitely do. I feel so much more comfortable with sequence of events now. All right, that is all I have for you guys today. I hope that you guys have an awesome rest of your day and that you keep using this knowledge to become better readers and better writers, and really just use it to help you in your learning journey. So have a great rest of your day, and as always, keep practicing and have a great day. Bye-bye.